All right, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Wednesday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed, as this is literally the most volatile day in Bitcoin that we have seen since 2012. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Baker's Food says going down to 43K. A huge shout out to J-Boy Bullish in the chat. Shout out to Joel H. He says Gray needs to stop selling. It will go to 100K soon. Shout out to the Davenport Report. Howdy, y'all. Shout out to Crypto Tom. Great to see you, man. God bless you, bro. So glad to see you in the chat. Shout out to Aaron G. My man. Glad to see you in the chat, bro. God bless you. Shout out to Jayson Mayer. Shout out to the Chicken. Shout out to In the Woods. Shout out to J Armo. Guys, guess what? Y'all already know. Federal Reserve made the decision today, and the rate hike, well, the rate decision is the same. Nothing has changed, and you can't see because of me, but look at this. If you see right here where I'm looking right now, 5.5% interest rates, the same as it was previously. No change. All right, is this bullish? Is this bearish? Is it neutral? We're going to be discussing this very pivotal place that we find ourselves on Bitcoin. We're going to be listening to Jerome Powell speak in about 12 minutes. And once he starts speaking, we're going to start to see Bitcoin probably start to move. It is a very, very important day for Bitcoin, because not only is it FOMC, but it is also the last day of the month, which means today we get a monthly close for Bitcoin, which is very important, because when we take a look at the monthly chart right now, we can see that this monthly candle, oh man, it's so important. Let's take a look. Look at this monthly candle, guys. Right now it's a blue doji, okay? If this closes purple, that is going to look very, very weak on the monthly time frame. Okay, if this candle closes purple, that is going to be a shooting star candle. So that means if we come down to 40K, we've only got 4 hours left. If we see a big dump here, it is going to be a very bearish monthly close, as we have just recently rejected from the Fibonacci golden pocket, the 618, from the bull market high to the bear market low. Got rejected from the 618 level from our high school crush, the 6 Juanita, the girl who will always reject us and break our heart every single time. All right, we've done so on the daily time frame with the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried man boob pattern, where the money flow and the momentum waves are both getting lower over time as we tap right into that 618 Fibonacci level. We can see right here, money flow getting out, momentum waves getting out, pivotal place. Now, let's take a look at a more medium time frame, because not only are we rejecting from the macro 618 level, but we pull a fib from the local high to the low. We are coming up right now to a very key zone of local resistance, and this to me is the line in the sand. If the Bitcoin price rejects from here, if we get a quick pump and reject from here within the next few hours, and we come back down toward the low of this range, that is going to be a very bearish monthly close. However, if we pump and hold, I do believe Bitcoin is going to see a new high. Now check it out. I've got some key levels here on the chart. These are the levels that we've been trading in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Right now, the Bitcoin price is rejecting from that high volume node. Guys, I still have the short open from yesterday that has not been stopped out yet. All right, believe it or not, this short has not been stopped out. Almost was. I woke up and I thought it was stopped out, but I put my stop loss above that high. Same trade from yesterday. All right, so let's see how this happens. Let's see how this plays out. I'm still long from the setup we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord from the reclaim of $40,700. And of course, I'm still in the juicy short from 48,640, the setup that we gave in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. A huge shout out to the Casper Crew. By the way, guys, a huge shout out to the sponsors of the channel. We got ZOOMEX, all right, Great exchange, centralized and decentralized platform in one, does not require KYC. Also trading on MEXC, the best deal on fees that you can possibly get. And also, guys, if you want to join the Casper crew, go to JaysonCasperTrading.com, click the link to join the Discord, where not only do we do multiple live streams every single day, giving you our levels, our setups from myself and the other instructors, but we also do have in the Casper crew a beginner's course, and in my opinion, the most thriving community in the world. All right, so we are watching this play out. Bitcoin is kind of at an indecision, but in 8 minutes, our man JP, all right, not the Morgan kind, but the Powell kind, is going to start speaking, and he is. I do believe we are going to see some volatility really start to kick in here. Okay, huge shout out to J-Boy Bullish. We just filled the single print. Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to Aaron G again. Shout out to Patrick Power. Shout out to Joe Potter. He says, repent and pray. Jesus is the only way. Amen to that. That is the truth. If there was any truth, that is the truth. Shout out to Carl from the Moon. Shout out to Castle, the friendly host. Shout out to Lunastar, who says, Casper Crew is a thriving community. We are. All right, the dollar, guys, is getting its pump on, according to Aaron G. Okay? So we are going to be waiting for our man JP to begin speaking. We've got the live stream pulled up here, and we're going to be watching this volatility. All right? There are a few areas that we really need to be aware of on Bitcoin right now. Area number one is going to be this green box right here. This green box is a place where we may very well find resistance if we get a pump to the upside. Area number two is going to be the Fibonacci golden pocket. All right, we get a pump to the upside. These are the areas that we need to be looking for a rejection. All right, we get a move to the downside. I'd say this area right here is going to be a very important zone of support. Value area low of the range. All right, plus a potential liquidity grab of the weekend's lows. Very, very, very important. Right down here. And then, of course, below that, we have the golden pocket, the 786, and these other kinds of areas. All right. So when we get the volatile move, we are going to be watching these areas. We right now are in a very, very interesting place. Based on market Cipher, the higher term time frames are looking like we could get a big pump to the upside here. The 4-day time frame is looking pretty bullish, like we could get another big push to the upside. All right. The 2-day time frame has confirmed a green dot. And the daily time frame as well definitely has more room to the upside on this momentum wave. However, the 4-hour time frame and below is starting to look a little bit bearish. If we get another move up into this zone of resistance, we could easily see how we could print bearish divergences on the 4-hour chart, giving us a lower high. Because remember, ever since we rejected from that $48.8 thousand macro 618 level, right up here, right? Whoa. What the heck just happened to this chart? Ever since we've rejected from this level up here, that 48.6 level, we have officially now changed market structure on the daily time frame, putting in our high, and then we have made now a lower low. So this was our previous higher low in the uptrend. Now we have come down, we've made a lower low, and so this could be a lower high, and then we take it down to the final target of the short trade, which is, for me, guys, I have $30,000 is a major TP on the short trade that I have been in since. When did we take this short trade? We took it on January 11th, guys. All right, we gave this setup in advance. I told everybody as I took this short trade in the VIP live stream, let's see if we can't hit our target. Now, why am I looking for such a low Bitcoin price? Because every single market cycle, this is the exact level that we get a major 40 to 70% rejection to retest what used to be massive resistance as support before we head into the new bull market. Okay? All right. Do I include the wick? Of course, I always include the wick. It don't mean a prick if it ain't got that wick, baby. It don't mean a prick if it ain't got that lick. Wait, what? Shout out to Rachel. Says hallelujah. Shout out to Jack Sparrow. Shout out to D-Saw. Shout out to Mustard Seed. Shout out to Samuel S. 4-hour cheeks, baby, please. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I love wicks. They are what get me going. Don't give me those bodies. All right, give me those wicks. We have 4 minutes until our good friend Jerome Powell begins to open and flap the gums and the lips. And look at this. If we take a look at exo charts right here, let me make myself a little bit smaller. I'm sorry I'm so big today, guys. All right, I gained 20 pounds in the last month of pure muscle. All right, now, when we take a look at exo charts, we can see that ever since that news kind of came out, we've seen a move to the downside, but it's happening on a very large decrease of open interest. What does this mean? It means people are not shorting the market right now. People are closing their trades. They're waiting for the big move to come. All right, they are waiting for the big move to come. Now, something else that we need to be watching right here is the fact that we have printed a very bearish looking CVD divergence throughout the entirety of this range. Okay, so throughout the entirety of this right here, we have printed a very bearish CVD divergence. What does that mean? Well, it basically means that as we are watching the price unfold here, there are many, many more long trades opening up in this box than there were at this high. All right. Now, the market is typically moved by the active participants. So if there's more longs than shorts, we would expect price to make a higher high, right? So if price is making a lower high and there's more longs than shorts, then we have this algebra equation. We need to solve for X. There's more longs than shorts, plus X equals a lower high. What is X? X is the market maker, the whale, that is filling up his short orders as the retail trader is longing, right? So the whale, the market maker, has limit orders that are being filled, and the reason why the longs aren't able to push the price higher is because they're actually just filling up this guy's order. Once the order's full, he can push the price to the downside. So this is something we really need to be aware of right in this exact box, but in approximately 2 minutes, Jerome Powell is going to speak, and historically, when Jerome Powell begins to open the mouth is typically when we start to see the market react. Now, I want to take a quick look at the dollar. Dollar is getting a large move to the upside. It's all relative, of course, but yeah, ever since the FOMC came out, dollar has gotten a little bit of a spike-a-roni in queso. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. Taking a dump. All right. This is old analysis, by the way. This is not daily open. Shout out to callsign RX who says, I'm here, let's go, baby. Can we get a 35K bounce before the halving? Yeah, let's dump it down a little bit to 35K as we await our good friend Jerome. All right, our good friend Jerome Powell. And look at this, trades just closing out left and right up the wazoo. Trades are just closing out left and right up the wazoo. So when we zoom in a little bit more, we can see that actually we do have a few shorts opening up here. But primarily, this move to the downside is longs closing out. Very sad day for the longs who longed up here, okay? They did not get the breakout. So remember what your grandfather told you when you told him you were getting into investing. He said, son, investing's so dang easy. Even you could do it. All you got to do is buy low and sell high. Shout out to Kenny Esposito. Do you eat the yolk when you eat the egg? Of course, man. In fact, a lot of times I eat just the yolk. But yeah, no, of course I eat the yolks, man. Trying to get yoked? You got to eat the yolks if you're trying to get yoked. Shout out to Jordan L, who knows I'm walking outside. I got the selfie stick coming out the chest. I got the backpack with the green screen on behind me. And I got the laptop in front of me, baby. That's how I do it. All right, Jerome Powell is about to start speaking, guys. All right. So we're going to lower the music down. We're going to lower the music down quite a bit. We're going to keep it on just a hair. And we're going to get in here and we're going to listen to see what Jerome Powell has to say. Is he going to be hawkish? Is he going to be dovish?
Toward our dual mandate objectives. Inflation has eased from its highs without a significant increase in unemployment. That's very good news.
Good news.
But inflation is still too high. Ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain. I want to assure the American people that we are fully committed to returning inflation to our 2% goal. Restoring price stability is essential to achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged and to continue to reduce our securities holdings. Over the past 2 years, we have significantly tightened the stance of monetary policy. Our strong actions have moved our policy rate well into restrictive territory, and we've been seeing the effects on economic activity and inflation. As labor market tightness has eased and progress on inflation has continued, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a solid pace. GDP growth in the fourth quarter of last year came in at 3.3%. For 2023 as a whole, GDP expanded at 3.1%, bolstered by strong consumer demand as well as improving supply conditions. Activity in the housing sector was subdued over the past year, largely reflecting high mortgage rates. High interest rates also appear to have been weighing on business fixed investment. The labor market remains tight, but supply and demand conditions continue to come into better balance. Over the past 3 months, payroll job gains averaged 165,000 jobs per month, a pace that is well below that seen a year ago, but still strong. The unemployment rate remains low at 3.7%. Strong job creation has been accompanied by an increase in the supply of workers. The labor force participation rate has moved up on balance over the past year, particularly for individuals aged 25 to 54 years, and immigration has returned to pre-pandemic levels. Nominal wage growth has been easing and job vacancies have declined. Although the jobs to workers gap has narrowed, labor demand still exceeds the supply of available workers. Inflation has eased notably over the past year, but remains above our longer run goal of 2%. Total PCE prices rose 2.6% over the 12 months ending in December. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%. The lower inflation readings over the second half of last year are welcome, but we will need to see continuing evidence to build confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably toward our goal. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored, as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. The Fed's monetary policy actions are guided by our mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation. We're highly attentive to the risks that high inflation poses to both sides of our mandate, and we're strongly committed to returning inflation to our 2% objective. Over the past 2 years, we have raised our policy rate by 5.25 percentage points, and we've decreased our securities holdings by more than $1.3 trillion. Our restrictive stance of monetary policy is putting downward pressure on economic activity and inflation. The committee decided at today's meeting to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 5.25% to 5.5%, and to continue the process of significantly reducing our securities holdings. We believe that our policy rate is likely at its peak for this tightening cycle, and that, if the economy evolves broadly as expected, it will likely be appropriate to begin dialing back policy restraint at some point this year. But the economy has surprised forecasters in many ways since the pandemic, and ongoing progress toward our 2% inflation objective is not assured. The economic outlook is uncertain, and we remain highly attentive to inflation risks. We are prepared to maintain the current target range for the federal funds rate for longer, if appropriate. As labor market tightness has eased and progress on inflation has continued, the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance. We know that reducing policy restraint too soon or too much could result in a reversal of the progress we've seen on inflation and ultimately require even tighter policy to get inflation back to 2%. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too late or too little could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering any adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. The committee does not expect that it will be appropriate to reduce the target range until it has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. We remain committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal and to keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Restoring price stability is essential to set the stage for achieving maximum employment and stable prices over the longer run. To conclude, we understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our questions.
All right, so he said a whole bunch of nothing, guys. A whole bunch of nada.
Sheena Smiley from the New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions. Obviously, in the statement and just in your remarks there, you note that you don't want to cut interest rates without greater confidence that inflation is coming down fully. I wonder, what do you need to see at this point to gain that confidence? And as you make those decisions, how are you weighing recent strong growth in consumer spending data against the sort of solid inflation progress you've been seeing?
Sorry, say that last part again.
How are you weighing the growth data and consumption data, which have been surprisingly strong, against inflation data?
Okay, so what are we looking for to get greater confidence? Let me say that we have confidence. We're looking for greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. Implicitly, we do have confidence and has been increasing, but we want to get greater confidence. What do we want to see? We want to see more good data. It's not that we're looking for better data. We're looking at continuation of the good data that we've been seeing. And a good example is inflation. So we have 6 months of good inflation data. The question really is, that 6 months of good inflation data, is it sending us a true signal that we are in fact on a path, a sustainable path down to 2% inflation? That's the question. And the answer will come from some more data that's also good data. It's not that the 6 month data isn't low enough. It is. It's just a question of, can we take that with confidence that we're moving sustainably down to 2%? That's really what we're thinking about. In terms of growth, we've had strong growth. I mean, if you take a step back, we've had strong growth. Very strong growth last year, going right into the fourth quarter. And yet we've had a very strong labor market, and we've had inflation coming down. So I think, whereas a year ago we were thinking that we needed to see some softening in economic activity, that hasn't been the case. So I think we look at stronger growth. We don't look at it as a problem. I think at this point we want to see strong growth. We want to see a strong labor market. We're not looking for a weaker labor market. We're looking for inflation to continue to come down as it has been coming down for the last 6 months.
And I'm sorry if I could just follow up very quickly. When you say
Whoa.
You
S&P
sure
500 pumping.
Signal. Is there anything that you're
Dollar
seeing in the data
dumping.
that makes you doubt that
Dollar
it's a true
dumping
signal
right
at
now.
this
This is
stage?
bullish.
No, I think I would say it seems to be the likely case that we will achieve that confidence, but we have to achieve it, and we haven't yet. And so, I mean, it's a good story. We have 6 months of good inflation, but you can, and you know this, you can look behind those numbers and you can see that a lot of it's been coming from goods inflation, for example, and goods inflation running significantly negative. It's a reasonable assumption that over time, goods inflation will flatten out, probably approximate zero. That would mean the services sectors would have to contribute more. So, in other words, what we care about is the aggregate number, not so much the composition, but we just need to see more. That's where we are as a committee. We need to see more evidence that sort of confirms what we think we're seeing, and that tells us that we are gives us confidence that we're on a path to a sustainable path down to 2% inflation.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, it seems to me you raised rates rapidly over the last 2 years for two reasons. One was the risk of a wage price spiral. Two, there were risks of inflation expectations becoming unanchored. This morning's ECI report for the fourth quarter shows private sector payroll growth running at a sub 4% pace. Inflation expectations are very close to where they were before the inflation emergency of the last 3 years. And given that you appear to have substantially cut off these two tail risks, and that you've judged here today current policy is well into restrictive territory, what good reason is there to keep policy rates above 5%? Are you really going to learn more waiting 6 weeks versus 3 months from now that you have avoided those two risks?
So, as you know, almost every participant on the committee does believe that it will be appropriate to reduce rates. And for partly for the reasons that you say, we feel like inflation is coming down. Growth has been strong. The labor market is strong. What we're trying to do is identify a place where we're really confident about inflation getting back to 2% so that we can then begin the process of dialing back the restrictive level. So overall, I think people do believe, and as you know, the median participant wrote down 3 rate cuts this year. But I think to get to that place where we feel comfortable starting the process, we need some confirmation that inflation is in fact coming down sustainably to 2%.
If I could ask differently, if you hold rates high as inflation moderates, as it has been, target rates will exceed the prescriptions of the Taylor rule or its variance. What would be the reasoning for holding rates higher than the levels recommended by those rules in the current instance?
Well, I think, as you know, we consult a range of Taylor rules and non-Taylor kind of rules. We consult them regularly. They're in our teal book, and they're in all the materials that we look at. But I don't think we've ever been at a place where we were setting policy by them. And they're, depending on the rule, it will tell you different things. There are many different formulations. Another way to think about it is implicitly is so. In theory, of course, real rates go up if holding all else equal as inflation comes down. But that doesn't mean we can mechanically adjust policy as real rates, as inflation comes down. It doesn't mean that at all, because for one thing, we don't know. We look at more than just the Fed funds rate. We look at broadly financial conditions. But in addition, we don't know with great confidence where the neutral rate of interest is at any given time. But that also doesn't mean that we wait around to see the economy turn down, because that would be too late. So we're really in a risk management mode of managing the risk, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, managing the risk that we move too soon and would move too late. And I think to move, which is where almost everyone on the committee is in favor of moving rates down this year. But the timing of that is going to be linked to our gaining confidence that inflation is on a sustainable path down to 2%.
Howard.
Hi, thanks, Chair Powell. I'd like you to key in on the use of the word in the statement that inflation still remains elevated. You've pledged to cut rates before inflation reached 2%. So that implies that there's some sort of intermediate step here on inflation, and that a cut would be consequent with a change in the statement language that inflation remains elevated. What's the step down from there?
Yeah, I don't know that we've worked out the particular statement language and that kind of thing. I would just say, if you look at where 12-month inflation is, and it's still well above core is 2.9%, for example, 12 months, which is way down from where it was. Very, very positive development, very fast decline, and the case is likely that it will continue to come down. So that's where it is. But we're wanting to see more data.
So if I could follow up on that, the statement allows that you want greater confidence on inflation falling before you cut, but it doesn't mention the other side of the mandate, a slide in employment. Would a slide in employment also bring you to the point of cutting rates?
Yes. So let me say that we're not looking for that. It's not something we're looking for. But yes, if you think about, in the base case, the economy is performing well, the labor market remains strong. If we saw an unexpected weakening certainly in the labor market, that would certainly weigh on cutting sooner. Absolutely. And if we saw
shout out to J.S. Burley for the super chat.
Or higher, or
love the analysis every day. Feeling bullish. We're holding valid support.
For moving later.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm definitely more bullish than bearish.
Healthy. And
right in this moment, I'm expecting higher Bitcoin prices.
Solid growth. We have a strong labor market. We have inflation coming down. That's what people are writing their SEP around. And in that case, what we're saying is, based on that, we think we can and should take advantage
I'm expecting
of that
a move up
and-
to
and
this
be
golden
careful as we
pocket here.
approach that question of when to begin to dial back restriction.
Also, potentially,
Claire
guys,
Jones, Financial Times. Just to circle back to the greater confidence aspect of the statement, there's been a
we have a potential introverted head and shoulders pattern. Potential.
comes to all
Right
needing
here,
greater
you know.
confidence. Is the unanimity, or at least consensus among FOMC members about what for that greater confidence is? And if not, could you maybe tell us a little bit about the discussion today on, what the variations between FOMC members was on what constitutes enough confidence to cut rates, and also if there was any variation on how quickly that greater confidence threshold could be reached. Thank
So
you.
we're not really at that stage. We're
I didn't know that there was British people from the UK in the press conference asking questions to Jerome Powell. I was unaware. I was unaware.
Is good evidence of where people are, although it is one cycle later. So, we're not at a place of really working out those kinds of details because we weren't actively considering, moving the federal funds rate down. I will say there is a wide disparity, a healthy disparity of views, and you see that in public statements in the minutes and the transcripts when they're released every 5 years. So
we got to
do
move
have
up
a
to
healthy,
45,
set of
46K,
differences,
and
I
market
think
Cipher
that's
B gives
actually
us a
essential
bearish
for
div.
making good policy.
Right?
We're also
That's
able
very
to
possible.
reach agreement generally because we listen to each other, we compromise, and even though not everybody loves what we do, they're able to, for the most part, able to join in. And to me, that's a well-functioning public institution.
Rachel. Hi, Chair Powell, Rachel Siegel from the Washington Post. Thanks for taking our questions. So over the past few years, there have been all these real-time indicators that helped us gain a sharper understanding of where the economy was, like open table data or office attendance. You've talked about vacancies in the past. And I'm wondering at the start of this year, what might be on that dashboard for you that's giving you the clearest picture of the economy, including on rents, if you could touch on that.
So far, this is a
Rent.
short squeeze,
Rent
guys.
costs.
Yeah. Well, so we're not, it's not the pandemic, so we can actually rely on more traditional forms. People are working, they're getting wages, and the economy is largely reopened and is broadly normalizing, as you see. So I wouldn't say we're looking at that sort of more innovative data as much. You point to rents, so of course we follow the components of inflation very carefully, which would be goods inflation. I talked about that a little bit. You mentioned housing inflation, so the question is when will these lower market rents find their way into measured rents as measured in PCE inflation, and we think that's coming, and we know it's coming. It's just a question of when and how big it'll be. So, but that's in everyone's forecast, I would say. So that will help, but at the same time, we think goods inflation will probably, it's been giving a lot of disinflation to the effort, and probably that declines over time, but
Hey, I mean no disrespect to all my Brits in the chat. I'm just surprised that somebody is from the UK asking Jerome Powell questions. Since, he's the federal United States government. Just kidding. If you don't know what sarcasm is, I guess you should leave the chat.
I guess just as a quick follow-up, do you feel comfortable at this point saying the economy has reached a soft landing, or is that part of looking for more confidence?
no, I wouldn't say we've achieved that, and I think we have a ways to go. Inflation is still, core inflation is still well above target on a 12-month basis. 12 months is our target. Certainly, I'm encouraged, and we're encouraged by the progress, but we're not declaring victory at all at this point. We think we have a ways to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Shout out to Aaron G with the financial,
You've
well,
said that
it's
you
not
would know
financial
the
advice, but it's
neutral rates by
wisdom.
its works. So I'm wondering what you could tell me. How do you believe the neutral rate is working? We're telling you right now that growth is stronger. In other words, how much is the economy really being restrained right now by the current funds rate? And how much restraint does it really need additionally if inflation is still coming down?
So I think you do see in the interest-sensitive parts of the economy, you do see, for example, housing, you see the effects, you do. Your second question, though, really, I think is important, and that is,
Shout out to
a lot of this
OJ.
has come through a lot of the disinflationary processes.
Shout out to Moon Boot Boy
Of supply chains and also of the labor market. So you've seen that other set of factors is really different from other cycles.
Smash up the likes, y'all. Smash up the likes.
Working with tighter policy, which has enabled the supply side to recover, I think is that mixture has been behind what has enabled this. So no, we really do think that we're having an effect broadly across the economy. I would point to the interest-sensitive parts of the economy as well as spending generally. But it's a joint story. It's a complicated story.
But how much restraint are you actually imparting to the economy, would you say, relative to the neutral rate?
So I think it's of course, you know that it's not something you can identify with any precision. But a standard approach would be to take the nominal rate, 5.3%, let's say, and subtract a sort of a forward measure of inflation. If you do that, and there are many, many ways to calculate the neutral rate, but that's one I like to do. And you're going to get to something that is materially above mainstream estimates.
Lane Hughes. Shout out to Lane Hughes.
Of the neutral rate.
Shout out to Bull Boy.
At the same time, you look at the economy and you say this is an economy that grew 3.1% last year. And you say, what does that tell you about the neutral rate? What's happening, though, is the supply side has been recovering in the middle of this. So that won't go on forever. So a lot of the growth we're seeing it isn't just a tug of war between interest rates and demand. You're getting, more activity because of labor market healing and supply chains healing. So I think the question is when that peters out, I think the restriction will show up probably more sharply.
Thank you. Sorry. Thanks for taking the question, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned earlier we're not seeking a weaker labor market. I think you said. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Do you think the labor market now is back to quote unquote normal, and that we can achieve the inflation target without wage gains coming back down to what they were pre-pandemic? Even with today's ECI levels, they were still above those pre-pandemic levels.
I think the labor market by many measures is at or nearing normal, but not totally back to normal. And you pointed to one or more of them. So I think, job openings are not quite back to where they were. Wage increases rather are not quite back to where they would need to be in the longer run. I would look at it this way, though. The economy is broadly normalizing, and so is the labor market. And that process will probably take some time. So wage setting is something that happens. It's probably will take a couple of years to get all the way back, and that's okay. That's okay. But we do see. You saw today's ECI reading. The evidence is that that wage increases are
Shout out to Kroger Pharmacy.
Very healthy level.
Kroger Pharmacy, the best pharmacy in the world. You need some drugs? Straight to Kroger, baby.
Assumptions about productivity are more typically associated with 2% inflation. It's an ongoing process, a healthy one, and I think we're moving in the right direction.
So that process can continue without a weakening of the labor market, basically, you're saying?
Well, I think the labor market is...
Shout out to Tuvia.
It's rebalancing. Clearly, there was a fairly severe imbalance between demand for workers and supply at the beginning of the pandemic. So we lost several million workers at the beginning of the pandemic from people dropping out of the labor force. And then when the economy reopened, you remember 2021, you had a severe labor shortage, and it was everywhere. Panic on the part of businesses couldn't find people. So what's happened is we expected the labor market to come back quickly, and it didn't. And 2022 was a disappointing year, and we were kind of thinking, well, maybe we won't get it back. And then 2023 we did, as you know. So labor force participation came back strongly in 23, and so did immigration. Immigration came to a halt during the pandemic. So those two forces have significantly lowered the temperature in the labor market to where it's still a very strong labor market. It's still a good labor market for wages and for finding a job, but it's getting back into balance, and that's what we want to see. And one great way to look at that is what's happening with wage increases, and you see it now across the major things that we track. It isn't every quarter, but overall there's a clear trend, still at high levels, but back down to where would be consistent with where we were before the pandemic and with 2% inflation.
Hi, Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. Thank you. I wanted to follow up on.
Shout out to Tuvia. Yes, I do still think we can see $31,000 Bitcoin. I do still think that. What happens at this level is very key. So we're waiting to see what happens right here around 44, 45,000.
I think that is a risk, the risk that inflation would reaccelerate. I think the greater risk is that it would stabilize at a level meaningfully above 2%. That's to me more likely.
Yo, a huge shout out to Nick Cipher. Nick Cipher. Everybody go subscribe to Nick Cipher. Amazing, amazing YouTube content. If you want your life to be better, go subscribe to Nick Cipher.
Options open here, and why we're not, rushing. So I think both of those are risks, but I think the more likely risk is the one that I mentioned, which is you've had 6 good months, very good months. But what's really going to shake out here? When we look back, what will we see? Will inflation have dipped and then come back up? Are the last 6 months flattered by factors that are one-off factors that won't repeat themselves? We don't think so. We don't. That's not what we think. But that's the question we are asking. We have to ask, and we want to get comfort on that.
And just one quick follow-up. Governor Waller had mentioned the revisions that are coming on February 9th for the CPI data. Is that something you're watching as well? And if we see those revisions fairly minor, is that going to give you more confidence where things are going?
We'll just have to see. Yeah, we'll look at those. Last year was a.
All right, we're going to let this guy flap his gums for a little more. Then we're going to do some analysis, guys. I see a lot of good comments in the chat. All right, just so everybody knows, this is a little bit of a hyperbolic projection here. Really, our major resistance right now is going to be this. White box, we're tapping into it now. This is either going to be a massive dump down to much lower prices, or if we can reclaim and hold, that's the only way we're going to see a new high. Okay, but really, this could be our lower high, and then we come lower, which is why I'm still holding this short, okay? So the only reason I'm holding this short is because potentially
your target.
This guy says inflation will be lower than 2% if Jerome Powell keeps it up.
First question, how to describe where we are. So I guess I would just say this. Executive summary would be that growth is solid to strong over the course of last year. The labor market, 3.7% unemployment indicates that the labor market is strong. We've had just about 2 years now of unemployment under 4%. That hasn't happened in 50 years, so it's a good labor market. And we've seen inflation come down. We've talked about that. So we've got 6 months of good inflation data and an expectation that there's more to come. So this is a good situation. Let's be honest. This is a good economy. But what's the outlook? That's looking in the review. The outlook, we do expect growth to moderate. Of course, we have expected it for some time, and it hasn't happened. But we do expect that it will moderate as supply chain and labor market normalization runs its course. The labor market is rebalancing, as I mentioned. Job creation has slowed. The base of job growth has narrowed. And of course, 12-month inflation is above target and getting down closer to target. It's not guaranteed, but we do seem to be getting on track for that. So those are the risks and questions we have to answer. But overall, this is a pretty good picture. It is a good picture. Your second question was, sorry.
Could you get inflation that is below target, end up with inflation below target, and you have to do something about that?
So the thing is, we're not looking for inflation to tap the 2% base once. We're looking for it to settle out over time at 2%. And the same thing is true. If we have a month or two of lower, and we have that now, of inflation that's annualized at a lower level, that wouldn't be good. We're not looking to have inflation anchor below 2%. We're looking to have it anchor at 2%. So if we do face those circumstances, then we'll have to deal with that. I think as of now, the question, which we want to take advantage of this situation and finish the job on inflation while keeping the labor market strong.
Edward
All right,
from
shout out to
Fox Business.
Fab Cat.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for taking this.
Thank you so much for the super
as
chat.
As I've heard from some district Fed presidents, is it, in your view, a little premature to think that rate cuts are right around the corner? And then when we do see that first rate cut, should we interpret that as the beginning of a rate cut cycle, or is it a one-off?
So I'll point to that language on your first question. We included that language in the statement to signal clearly that with strong growth, strong labor market, inflation coming down, the committee intends to move carefully as we consider when to begin to dial back the restrictive stance that we have in place. So if you take that to the current context, we're going to be data dependent. We're going to be looking at this meeting by meeting. Based on the meeting today, I would tell you that I don't think it's likely that the committee will reach a level of confidence by the time of the March meeting to identify March as the time to do that, but that's to be seen. So I wouldn't call, when you ask me about in the near term, I'm hearing that as March. I would say I don't think it's probably not the most likely case or what we would call the base case. Then your second question is
is this the start of when we see a cut? Is it the start of a cutting cycle, or could it just be a one-off?
Well, that's what I like to hear. Is this the start of a cutting cycle? About to hop on a cycle. Is this a cutting cycle?
Based on that.
He says, depending on the risk is how we're going to make the decision on what cutting cycle we go on.
At the March meeting, and people will write down what they think, but in the end, it's really going to depend on how the economy evolves. We talked about there are risks that would cause us to go slower. For example, stronger inflation, more persistent inflation. There are risks that would cause us to, or if they happened, that would cause us to go faster and sooner, and that would be a weakening in the labor market, or for that matter, very, very persuasive lower inflation. Those are the kinds of things. So we're just going to be reacting to the data. That's really the only way we can do this.
Victoria. Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. Could you talk a little bit more about productivity growth? You've mentioned multiple times about, the level of wage growth that's consistent with 2% inflation. We've obviously seen, you were talking about ECI this morning, in which it's cooled a little bit, but still sort of above what you wanted to see. Growth has been very strong. How much of those numbers do you attribute to productivity, and do you see that productivity as sort of just temporary because of the factors, the labor and supply chain factors you were talking about, or do you think that productivity growth will fade over time?
So this is a really interesting question, and I think my own view is, I think if you look back to the pandemic, you saw a spike in productivity as workers were laid off and activity didn't decline as fast. And then you saw
shout out to Han, bro. Your comments are coming through, man.
And then over the last, you saw high productivity last year in 23. I think we're basically in the throes of getting through the pandemic economy, and the question will be, what is it that has changed? The productivity tends to be based on fundamental aspects of our economy. Is there a case? Will it be the case that we come out of this more productive, more on a sustained
basis? All right, guys.
Basis?
All right.
I don't know.
I can't take this guy anymore.
People talk about AI.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm trying to seem mature and all this, but I'm not. I'm immature. Okay. Shout out to all our super chatters in the house. Shout out to Fabcat, Tuvia Ohana. All right, let's talk about this Bitcoin price because we're starting to get a move, guys. Let's talk about this Bitcoin price. We're starting to get a dump. First of all, we need to look at the dollar pumping right now, and let's take a look at the S&P dumping like a wild woman in distress, running through the wilderness with a laundry basket on her head, looking strangely like Janet Yellen. We are losing the range here on the S&P 500. Okay, now Bitcoin just got a 4-hour candle close, guys. Bitcoin printing a red dot on the 4-hour. Again, our next key support for Bitcoin is going to be down here. Let's make it bigger. Next key support for Bitcoin, 41,300. That's going to be our next big support. All right. Let me close this off. All right, I'm managing like a billion trades right now, guys. I got a billion trades. I'm long, I'm short, I'm short, I'm long, I'm long, I'm short. Okay, so here's the deal. here is the deal with Bitcoin. Today is a very, very important day for Bitcoin because it is the monthly close. All right, it is the monthly close. So we take a look over here. Let's go to Coinbase, the Coinbase exchange, a great exchange. We go to the monthly chart. What do we see? We see this nice blue doji candle. This blue doji candle right here. If it closes purple, guys, and we are dumping like crazy right now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at Bitcoin taking a huge dump right now. Man, this short trade from yesterday, not this long trade, this short trade from yesterday here almost got stopped out, guys. I mean, I held it overnight. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Bitcoin's dumping. Okay, so what do we need to know? First of all, we need to understand that on the monthly chart, we are printing a doji candle on the monthly. If this thing closes purple, that is a shooting star candle, a bearish candle pattern. We also know that we have rejected from the Fibonacci 618 retest from the entire bear market high to the bull market high to the bear market low. We also know that every single market cycle, we print the same pattern over and over again, which is this, right? We get the bull market, then we get the bear market. Everybody gets very, very bearish, and then they get bullish when we get the bear market rally. The bear market rally comes up to the Fibonacci 618 level. We reject, we get to move back down to test the base of support that we formed during the previous bull market, and then boom, we enter into the next bull market. Then we come up to the Fibonacci, reject, retest that area of support that we made in the previous bull market, boom, into the next bull market after the halving comes. We're potentially seeing the same exact pattern repeat right here. Okay, so this is very, very important. The second thing that we need to keep in mind here is that on the daily time frame, we have officially changed market structure for the first time since August 17th. We have made a lower low on the daily time frame. Market structure is king. So technically speaking, we have now made a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high. Now we've made our first lower low, which means if we make a lower high from this exact area, the probabilities are very good that this is a head and shoulders and that we will hit lower targets. Okay, now let's look at the market Cipher B here. What do we see? We see two things. First of all, the Bitcoin price has rejected from none other than the 618 Fibonacci level. All right, 6 Juanita, my high school crush. Here's a picture of her. Had a huge thing for this chick, thought she was into me as well. When I asked her on a date, turns out, guys, I was in something called the friend zone. So fellas, if you think you're a nice guy and you're gonna get a girlfriend because you're a nice guy, you are sadly mistaken. All right, girls don't like nice guys, they like criminals. And you will notice when you take a look at 6 Juanita's face here, she was not looking at me when I asked her out. She was looking at a bad guy named Sam Bankman-Fried. She had a crush on this guy because he was a criminal in the Bahamas, laundering money, giving it to all his friends. And if we take a look at Sam Bankman-Fried's mammary glands right here, his man-Marie glands, we can see that they are getting lower over time as the price is getting higher. Take a look at the Bitcoin chart. What do we see on Market Cipher B? None other than the Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boo pattern. He is right there ready to steal our chick as we were asking 6 Juanita out on a date. Now, this is a bearish pattern on Market Cipher B. And as we speak right now, we know that we are coming up to potentially make a lower high in this very key zone. In fact, this is a very, very key zone. The only reason I'm in a short right now from this level here is because we rejected from the box the setup that we gave in the Casper crew, right? This was the POC of the range. We got a little CDW pattern right here, right? We are at resistance. This could be a lower high here. Personally, I feel like a little bit higher is more probable. Okay, but shout out to the Casper crew because look, we gave that short setup in advance. Guys, you need to subscribe to the channel because we are telling you what's going to happen before it happens. I put $500,000 on the line and told everybody I'm expecting Bitcoin to pump to a new high. That's exactly what happened. Then I warned everybody the day before the ETF. Watch out because we're going to reject from the 6 Juanita. All right. And guys, you know, I don't just talk about the trades. I put my money where my mouth is. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel, click the like button, hit the bell because you don't want to miss these updates, right? And this could potentially be a swing trade if we put in a lower high right here. We may see another low coming down below $38,000 to some of our lower targets, which really massive support resistance flip is going to be coming in right here at about $30,000 to $32,000. Okay. Now, are we definitely going to get a move down? Here's what we really need to pay attention to right now. Right now, we do know that there is a local 6 Juanita right above us. And again, you know, once we get that first rejection, we take some time, we work on ourselves, we go to the gym. We think maybe she'll go out with us again, right? Maybe she will go out with us this time. Maybe things have changed. Maybe we're bad boy enough for her. This is what we need to pay attention to, guys. If the Bitcoin price actually does go on a date with 6 Juanita, and we hold this area as support, we need to see it break and hold. Then I'd say things could get quite bullish, because when we go to the higher term time frames, like the 4-hour, we are seeing money flow get higher. We are seeing green dots print. We are seeing things confirming on the 3-day time frame. But right now, it literally depends on what happens in this exact moment. So this is a very, very key area. Very, very key. If we make our lower high here, guys, then yeah, I think we could see much, much lower prices. But I look at that as an amazing opportunity, because the thing is, if we do get a big move down to these lower areas, this is going to be the trade of the bull market. All right, $30,000 is going to be the trade of the bull market if we are gifted with that low, because any pullback we get as we are leading up to the halving, which this white line represents, is a time to be stacking your position, getting in to Bitcoin and honestly the altcoins that you are bullish on. This is the time to be getting into crypto. Most people get in over here. All right, you want to be getting in right over here. This is the time. So I look at it as an amazing opportunity to potentially get into the trade of the bull market, which could give us a move. Honestly, this is kind of the trade setup I would be looking at here, up to at least $80,000. That is a 160% move to the upside, give or take. All right, I know a lot of people are calling for a lot higher than $80,000 Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. Bitcoin ain't what it used to be as far as that volatility. But this is the opportunity of the bull market, guys. So do not be discouraged. Do not be fearful if Bitcoin does take a dump. But right now is the make it or break it level, as we attempt once again to ask out 6 Juanita on a date. Now here's a little word of caution for all you lovebirds out there. As we look at the 4-hour time frame right now, all right, what do we see? We see that as the price is potentially going to come up to that $44,000, $45,000 level, the 4-hour time frame will be printing the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried man boot pattern. So even though he's in prison right now, there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't be president. Wait a second. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't date a guy in prison. Okay? And so we really need to be aware of this. So this is what I'm looking at right now with Bitcoin. We've been talking about this for a long time because the Bitcoin price has been kind of rejecting from here since January 11th. So we've been talking about it for half a month right now. Okay? Let's see what happens. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat right now. You guys are absolutely amazing. All right, while Lead says we are coming short right now. DXY is pumping, says everybody in the chat. What was the result of FOMC? No change, no change, no change. You're breakdancing to the music in the back. Shout out to Min K in the chat. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. He says I could hire hella maids for a BTC, baby. Shout out to OJ. He works at McDonald's full-time, Burger King part-time, and watch Jayson Casper on my spare time. Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you, my man. All right. All right. So my FOMC notes, gallon of milk is like $7. Economy is fine. The Fed loves us. We need to trust them. Sounds good to me. Shout out to Crypto Tom. Shout out to Shogun Crypto. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. Shout out to 9-5 and Crypto Content. God is good. I want to join your daily trading. Shout out to Samahanus. No problem. JP is talking out of his A money sign, money sign. All right, let's see what happens here, guys. Let's see what happens here. Market Cipher B printing that 4-hour red dot. Let's go to the 24-minute here. So I do have to say, guys, that this 24-minute alone does not look so bullish at the moment. But I am right now, I have never been more uncertain about what is about to happen than I am right now. All right? I was very confident throughout all this time that we were going to see higher prices. As you guys know, I was holding the trade. On Friday, I was telling you guys I'm looking for 44 to 45K. We've hit into target number 1 here. Are we going to hit into target number 2? I feel like it's possible. Things do not look as bearish here as I was expecting them to potentially look here. But right now, nothing would surprise me. So I'm just trading the way I trade, which is when I see a trade, I take the trade, I take a profit 1, make sure I'm not going to lose, and then I hold the trade for the rest. So let's go, baby. Shout out to Raj. Shout out to Jay-Z. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. He's bullish. Shout out to Crypto Tom. He's talking out his donkey. Shout out to Divine Hood in the chat. All right, Crypto Panda says we're going down, baby. All right. Shout out to Jay-Z. He says, mansplain more, Jason. I would love to, my friend. See, I'm wearing a nice low-cut tank top here to show off the deltoids. The toxic masculinity is spewing out of my system right now. All right. And even though I'm walking, I'm also man-spreading. Mansplaining, man-spreading, baby. Shooting out the toxic masculinity with my kids and my wife. My poor wife, so oppressed. She has to stay home all day and keep the house. Shout out to Bellsprout. Shout out to Crypto Wars. Season 4 Trading Wars. Come on over. Everyone go check out Crypto Wars. I think they start. When do you guys start? Soon, right? That's right. It's a wife beater, not a tank top. That's right. That's right. All right. What music is this? All right. I'll tell y'all what music this is. This music is Thieves Volume 2, Hype Track Volume 2. There's a lot of good music on this. It's just one long playlist, guys. One long playlist. All right, we're gonna get a big move here. Let's see if we can get a big move here, and then we will. We're just gonna watch and see. It's 3 o'clock. Are we gonna get that big move that we're all waiting for? What percent of your position at first TP? It depends on the trade setup, to be honest with you. You don't know what manspreading is? I'm surprised you don't know. It's just something I like to do. It helps me feel better about my white fragility. And I also love intersectionality. And what other things do I like? I don't know, but I learned all these things, guys, back in college when I was getting my degree in trans non-carbon binary emission studies. This is a picture of me right before I got my degree. And it's an interesting story, but, you know, after I got the degree, I tried to get a job, and no one wanted to hire a trans non-carbon binary emission studyologist. And then I started to spiral into depression because I realized I myself was made of carbon. And I was just a huge cancer upon the earth for being a human being made of carbon. I really started to hate myself. But this led me down the path of becoming a trader because I couldn't get a job. So I had to learn how to make money some other way. So I started trading, investing in crypto. I started to focus my energy on something productive. And the reason why I no longer look like this is because when you're doing productive things, you no longer have time to look like this on a daily basis. It just takes too long in the morning. So you end up looking like a regular guy on trend. You know? All right, Bitcoin, what you gonna do? Looks like she wants to dump a little bit more. All right. Am I trans? Well, yes. I am a trans Yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm a transracial, transgender lesbian. I actually identify as the White House press secretary. All right. So I am this black woman trapped in a white man's body, but also attracted to women. So it's a strange thing, but let me tell you, it's a hard life. Okay, it's a real hard life. All right, Bitcoin, come on, make a move. Come on, make a move, Bitcoin. What leverage do I use? I use whatever leverage fits my risk management. In fact, guys, I am going to be taking a slight break from YouTube for the next few days next week. I might not be streaming. I won't be streaming as much, right? I'm going to be releasing some videos, and one of them has all to do with leverage, all right? Am I auto or manual trans? You know, it's manual. It just happens by itself. All right, the changes just happen by itself. Depends on how fast I go on the treadmill. You know, I might have to switch into my trans. My trans needs to switch gear depending on how fast I go. All right. Some bars. Yeah, we could spit some bars. Why not? We're waiting for Bitcoin to move. Are we gonna pump? We gonna dump? But I have to make sure I'm on beat. All right. Drop a 1 in the chat if I should do a freestyle over this beat. Let me just make sure I'm on beat. Drop a 1 if I should do a freestyle. Let's see here. I gotta make sure I'm on beat. Yo, yeah. Spit some bars, I'm walking on my feet. Gonna listen back to see if I'm on beat. Alright, let's see if I'm on beat. Yeah, sounds like I'm on beat, guys. Sounds like I'm on beat. Alright, let's see. Alright, yeah, we got some ones in the chat. Alright. Yo. I'm spitting bars and I'm walking on my feet. Gonna listen back just to see if I'm on beat. Here we go. Bitcoin's gonna dump. Then we come to support. Then we're gonna pump. Got the candles, the purple and blue. It's decision time, Bitcoin, what you gonna do? Got the FOMC with my man JP, talking all this stuff between you and me. They're asking him questions about inflation. He says, I don't know, about to take a vacation, cause a gallon of milk is costing just so much. You can't even afford just to go out to lunch. Here we go, and the price is getting high. Got the blue candles pumping, man, straight into the sky. Got the price going up, straight to my eye, yeah. Now here we go, right on the fly. Spitting bars, man, straight off the dome. Going in the car, then I'm driving back home. Yeah, got the Bitcoin pumping. JP speaks, now we're about to be dumping. Got the monthly candle close. Doing it out in the garden with the garden hose. Spraying water everywhere, chilling in my underwear. Got a black cat chilling out somewhere out there. Here we go. You are slightly early, a little off beat, man, maybe I'm an early. Here we go, OP got the shorts, lit in the house, chilling with the horde, Here we go, pumping higher, Bitcoin price, about to be on fire. Got the green in the chat, mean on the chat. Don't know what I'm saying, but the profits keep paying. Here we go, Bitcoin going low, come to support, then the price is gonna blow. Yeah, alright. Shout out to my man OJ Blockchain with the pear character. Punching with an air fist and bump written on his knuckles. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for being here. Alright. starting to grate. Bitcoin doing nothing and we have to wait. Got my man in the chat looking like a fake. Fire coming out all over the place. Here we go, gonna give a flex. Bitcoin price, what she gonna do next? Going really low, then we're going really high. Got the blue candles pumping straight up into the sky. Here we go, can you hear the sound? Purple candles dropping and the price is going down. What I'm doing when we're looking at the fire. Bitcoin's pumping, is the price will go higher? Hey, I'm a man with a crush. 6 Juanita, man, she's just enough. When I asked her out, she gave me the pout. Then she turned me around and she sent me straight out. She's like, Jay, I'm in love with Sam Bankman-Fried. Crooked man boobs, that's what I need. I don't have time for your large pectorals. Doing it every day when I'm chilling with my urinals. Don't know what I'm saying. Your boy doesn't care cause the trades are paying. First we're going short, then we're going long. Got a freestyle rap, about to sing this song. Yeah, now we're gonna do more. Spitting straight facts right through the door. Got the best rapper out here and you come back for more. Got the crypto flow and I'm spitting the spores. Can you show us your setups? I don't know, maybe next up. Talk about your chickens, the rap be spitting. They're chilling outside and they got too much spinach in the garden. Growing tall, Bitcoin price smacking straight into the wall. Here we go, back with a new beat. Got a blue candle pumping, Bitcoin got me on my feet. First we pumped, then we dumped. Bitcoin making a rotation, starting to trump. Here we go, the bears and the bulls. Chilling in the boat, in the front, in the hull. Yeah, pumping like a Spiden. Going straight at it just like Trump and Biden. Don't mean to bring politics into the rap. I don't really care what you think about that. Jay needs someone to rap battle with. Yo, bring on Sam Price, man, that guy could spit. Here we go, the local 618. Bitcoin's pumping straight up and it's looking pretty great. Actually, let's take a look at the chart. Gonna pull a Fibonacci like a work of art. Would you look at that? Bitcoin start to plat to the 618 and then we bounced like that. And I didn't even notice that we came right there. Cause I was rapping from the dome, yo, stripping everywhere. Here we come with another blue candle. The Bitcoin's going higher than all of you can handle. Cause first we dumped, now we're pumping with the JP FOMC. Man, it's going straight to you and me. Here we go, our bags are pumping straight to the moon and the music's thumping. Going every day, I hope we're not trumping all the price action that's coming when we are pumping all our gas. Going really fast, moving through the grass, looking really masked. Cause I got it all up on my face. Bitcoin in the space, got the blue candles all over the place. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright, yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright. Alright, guys, you know, Bitcoin, she is just doing nothing, all right? We've gotten to the place where we're just freestyling on the web. Guys, we got 1,500 people still up in the chat, 600 likes. Let's see if we can't get the likes up to the watchers right now, y'all. Let's see if we can't get the likes up to the watchers right now. All right. That would be nice. Shout out to Pelly Photography. Oh man, that's hilarious. Shout out to Dylan Waves, my man. Everybody go subscribe to Dylan Waves, alright? Man, I wish I could pass the mic to you, Hakuna Matata. You know, once 5G and 6G and 7G internet comes out, then the internet will be in real time and we'll be able to have rap battles. All right. Shout out to Stephen Watson. Says, Kamala Harris for president. Smash the likes. Shout out to Miguel Dos Santos. 4,500. It's possible, man. It's possible. All right. What are the chances? Well, that's a really key level. So I don't know what the chances are. I have no metric to gauge the probabilities, right? But it's a very key level. And the reason why it's such a key level is because, right, let's take a look. That $40,500 level is a very important area of support, right? I would be looking actually a little bit lower than that. This is like really the main zone. Really, this white line that I've got here at around 40,200, you know. But look, right now, our first target for this dump is going to be to take out these lows from the weekend here, right? We've got the liquidity built up here. These lows are begging to be taken out. In fact, let's take a look at let's take a quick look at a TPO chart. Do we have poor lows there? I don't know. So let's check it out. All right, let's check it out. Let's check it out. No, we don't have, well, we have a poor low right here, and then we have single prints under here, which takes us right down to 40,100. So, yeah, 40,500 actually would fill some single prints. So yeah, look, first of all, I'd say taking out these lows right here, the low from January 27th and the low from January 26th. We have a poor low right here, meaning it probably wants to get taken out. Then we've got single prints right here, meaning we could very easily fill these single prints. And then we've got a naked daily point of control just underneath there at 40,075. So really 40,075 up to around 40,400 is going to be that level. We have a poor low. We have a poor low down here as well, which is interesting. And we have a poor low down here as well. So, long story short, guys, we could come down quite a bit. All right, this low does not look very nice on a TPO chart. These lows, none of these lows. In fact, this whole move up looks like garbage on a TPO chart, meaning we could very easily give all this back. All right, but again, for me, it's all about what happens in this zone. All right, so like, it's all about what happens in this zone. So, you know, this area could be our lower high where we're at right now, okay? So the key resistance, this general trading idea that we gave in the Casper crew, this is what needs to happen. If we get this move, it's very possible, it's very, very possible that we make another low here, all right? Very, very, very possible. And then if we take those lows, we got to take it level to level. I mean, that's really what it is. We got to take it level to level, guys. If we lose out this weekend lows, then we look down to the white box. If we lose the white box, I'd say we are coming down to at least 37K. Why 37K? Because if we go to the day-lay time frame, 37K is the high volume node of all this stuff here, right? This is really the only major support resistance flip that we made along the way up, 37K. So 37K would be my final target. And then I would look down to give back all this because these are all poor lows. Lots of liquidity down here. Single prints right here. We could get a very swift, fast move right down to test that $30,000 to $31,000 level. It could be fast, guys. But this is in general what we're looking at. But for right now, look. Here we are on the low time frames, and we're just in a local short trade, and we just got to take it level to level, guys. You know, we got to take it level to level. Shout out to fellow trader, my man, fellow trader. God bless you, fellow trader. Fellow trader, he thinks I'm the worst, and he's right. Fellow trader says, "Effing clueless idiot. Follow me if you want to lose money." Which is a great reminder, guys. This is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy in a treadmill with a plunger on the face, baby. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know how to trade. All right. If you want to really trade well, don't follow me. Okay. So shout out to Dude Viper. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish. What was the confluence for the last short? This is a trade I took yesterday, man. This trade I took yesterday. I didn't take this trade today. It looks like I did, but I almost got stopped out. I took this trade when this happened here. All right. This happened here. We got a first high, and then we got a CDW, right? A liquidity grab. Gave us a setup, okay? And it gave us the setup. Okay. So, look, if we start to... Should I close this long trade? I don't know. Should I close the long? Let's see. Because if we start making lower lows, I think I'm just going to take the profit and run with it, guys. It's the last day of January. If I take the profit and run right now, I would have made 0.85 Bitcoin in January trading inverse perpetual. If I let it run out, it's 0.7. That's quite a big difference. Let me know, should I close the trade? Pop a 1 in the chat if I should close the trade, guys. Am I planning to visit Dubai? Absolutely not. Absolutely, I will never visit Dubai. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Carl from the Moon. I'm sorry, what's the other guy? Da Vinci and MM Crypto and all you other crypto, no tax paying Dubai folk, all right? I will never visit Dubai, and the reason why is because it's a fake place. It's the middle of the desert. There's no resources there. Everything has to be imported. All right, and I am a bit of a, I want to use the right word. I don't want to say anything bad, even though I already talked about trans non-carbon recognition. Look, I don't want to be in a place where my resources are dependent on the supply chain in the middle of the desert, right? In a city. First of all, I hate cities. Packed in like sardines. You can't get out if something bad happens. And no one can get in if something bad happens, which means if something bad happens, you have about 3 days until there's no food or water. And I'd rather be out here on the homestead, where if I'm hungry, I go outside and I eat some eggs from the chickens. Or I go downstairs and I get some of the produce that I grew myself. Or if I'm thirsty, I go out to the well and pump the water from the earth by hand. You know, that's what I want. Don't give me none of that city stuff, man. Shout out to Tom Crown, bro. Congratulations, Tom Crown, with the best live stream in the world for FOMC. Guys, if you are not subscribed to Tom Crown, go subscribe to Tom Crown. Some people think I should close the trade. Other people do not. All right. You can buy land in the UAE and Homestead. Okay, yeah, if it has water and it's easy to grow, then I'd be down. But Dubai itself, I don't know, man. And everything's expensive out there. Singapore is nice. I also probably will never go to Singapore. The only place I would honestly ever go is South or Central America. And it would be if I moved there permanently, or at least to have a temporary residence there. You know what I'm saying? Central South America, that's where it's at. You can grow stuff all year. Depending on where you go, you don't have to worry about natural disasters. And where I live right now, my growing season's kind of short. I would love to be able to grow perennial sweet potatoes and yams down in Central America. All right, Stupid Bitcoin says keep the long. Well, with a name like Stupid Bitcoin, how could I not? How could I not? Come to Nepal. Interesting. Nah. Well, I might end up in Nepal someday, guys. All right. I might end up in Nepal someday. India. I don't think I'll ever go to India. I love the Bahamas, Min K. I love the Bahamas. I used to go there every year with my wife when we lived in the city and we were urban yuppies living in a city apartment. I used to go to the Bahamas every year. Irresponsibly. But I don't do that anymore. But I love the Dominican Republic. I would actually, I would be interested in going to the Dominican Republic, honest. Come to Vienna. I have no desire to go to Europe. All right, I'm sorry. Bulgaria, who knows? Maybe someday I will go to Bulgaria. I have a lot of friends in Bulgaria. I would love to go to Costa Rica, Juan Carlos. I would love to go to Costa Rica. Iran. I don't know if I would go to Iran, my friend. Not that I have anything against Iran or the Iranians, but for me, it's either stay where I'm at or go to South or Central America. How far have I walked? I have no idea, man. I don't have one of those iWatches or whatever, you know? Come on, Bitcoin, do something. We need the Bitcoin to dump right now. What about the Philippines? Yeah, I would go to the Philippines. Canada is beautiful. Look, you know, for me, there's a combination of things, right? It's a combination of things. Which would make me want to go to a country. And so, based on my criterion, it's really South or Central America is where I would probably end up going. It's not just about weather. Antarctica, that's a good place to go. What steroids do I take? Just some testosterone, some diet pills, maybe a Dianabol from time to time. It just comes with the territory if you're a crypto YouTuber. We're all on steroids, all right? I'm just kidding, guys. I don't take steroids. Come on. Killa says this guy is definitely juiced up. Well, I'm glad to hear that, bro. It makes me feel good. Like I've definitely been lifting weights for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I eat healthy. I lift heavy weights. I love lifting weights. You know, don't doubt what the human body can do naturally, my friend. Everyone I know who says, you know, you can't look like me. First of all, I'm not even that big. There's dudes in the Casper crew bigger and more jacked and leaner than me. But look, if you think I have to be on steroids, then you definitely have not put in the work consistently in the gym and with your nutrition. I'll just say that straight up. The human body is a very, very capable organism that God created, and it adapts. All right, so you squat, bench press, deadlift, overhead press, row for 5 years, and I've been doing it since I was 12 years old, guys, on and off. All right. Do it for 5 years. Eat a whole food diet. Nothing in a package, except maybe some whey isolate, ideally from grass-fed cows if you gotta do it. Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat a lot of food. Train really hard, and then come back in 5 years. All right, you're gonna be jacked. But people don't do it. People don't do it. Biden is also on steroids. That would not surprise me. How many years have I been lifting weights? Well, my dad was a weightlifter, so he had like barbells and stuff out when I adapted to Big Butts 28, right? My dad had barbells and stuff out on the patio, because that's how my dad used to work out, old school, right? Outside in the backyard. My dad still bench presses out in the backyard, okay? My dad still works out in the backyard. Shout out to Papa Casper. But when did I actually start? I mean, I started kind of when I was 12. I got much more serious in my late teens. Then I took some time off when I was in a band. But then from the time I've been like 22, 23 until now, I've been very consistent. So 10 years of consistent lifting. 20 years of on and off lifting, all right? Tony Z gets his HGH for milk. You can't go wrong with raw milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Aaron G, man. See, the Casper crew, we're the most jacked traders in the world. Aaron G, John Ploney. All right, where's my other guy in here? J-Boy Bullish, also super jacked, but he's humble about it, right? Look at that face, you'd never guess. Dude's shredded to the core. All right. Boyan, also competitive bodybuilder. How old am I? I'm 33. How long have I been married? 10 years. Man, 10 years. Shout out to Big Butts 28, my beautiful wife, my amazing wife. Been married for 10 years. And she is the best wife in the world. Little creatine never hurt. You know, creatine doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is. Every time I've taken creatine, I've run into issues. And I don't notice any effects. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm a non-responder. Alright. What's my thoughts on this Jupiter coin? Alright, I don't know. Because, I haven't done my research on it. Okay, I know the airdrops happened earlier this morning. You know? Alright, shout out. The Casper crew muscle calendar is coming soon, alright? Shout out to Big Bus 28, alright. Doriani, his wife is the best as well. Shout out to all the amazing wives out there, alright? Shout out to, look, Max Flexion also. Look at this guy, jacked. Lift heavy, lots of supersets, eat clean and natural, keep protein high, stay jacked. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much, that literally is what it is. Shout out to Overcome, he's in the 300 club. Benching 300 at 200 pound body weight, no steroids, 33 years old. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to I'm Jupiter. I'm sorry for saying your name. Haven't done my research on you. You can get enough creatine from meat. That's true, yeah, if you eat a lot of meat. Eggs, meat, fruit, vegetables. Pseudo grains, potatoes. I love potatoes. Give me some potatoes. Shout out to Hazel, also married for 10 years. I look like I'm in my mid-late 20s. Man, that's a compliment, because I feel old when I look in the mirror. I'm like, dang, you know? And you can't see, but I got some crow's feet coming in. My wife says it makes me look more mature. When she married me, I looked 12. And I was 23, so... You know. Do I like classic physique? I guess I don't really follow it, to be honest with you. I don't really follow it. Like, all I know about it is Chris Bumstead, and that's all I know. That's all I know. Wow, shout out to Jeff. He was squatting 620 today for a triple, and he's 43 years old. Now, that's legit, bro. That is a really good lift. I wish I had a video of that. I do like to watch people squat and deadlift. I like to watch powerlifting. Gets me hyped up. Shout out to Nail Biting for Fun 1. That's a funny comment. Alright. Do I only hold Bitcoin in my investment portfolio? Nah, I don't. Also, here's another thing. I looked way more jacked in this shirt than I did yesterday. Look at my video from yesterday. You think this guy doesn't even lift. It's just because this shirt is very revealing of the chesticles and the deltoids and all this, you know? But you'd know, like... Shout out to Ronnie Coleman. What's my max leg press? As many 45s as can be on the leg press, plus stacking the 45s on top of the leg press, plus 2 hot girls on top of the leg press. Repping it out, 1/4 inch reps, right? Just unrack the weight, bring it down a 1/4 inch back up. 100 reps, baby, just 100 reps. Feeling like a total boss in the gym. Shout out to Straightway Life. Are we bullish or bearish? I don't know, Straightway Life. I don't know. What a horrible thing for a technical analyst, YouTuber to say. I have no idea, man. I'm just waiting for something to happen here. Lifting is for people who sucked in sports. That's so true, and I was horrible at sports. I played baseball for 3 years, and I never even hit the ball once. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, horrible at sports, honestly. I was always a musician. That's what I was always good at, was music, all right? Yep, that's it. All right, don't know what we're talking about. We just got plungers, baby. Shout out to SportBilly77. Plungers on the face. What a disgrace. All right, guys. Well, man, this stream has kind of gone downhill because nothing's happening. So I am going to head out. Oh, wait. Shout out to and. Do I have something against India? No, I have nothing against India, man. Shout out to all my Indian watchers in here, all right? Thank you for the super chat. All right, I'm going to head out, guys. As soon as I do, Bitcoin's going to do a massive move. So shout out to you guys. May God bless you all. Shout out to Lee Tura Nativa. As the Daniel prophecy comes to reality, we need to stay human and get grateful for life. What do you mean by that? I'm curious. What do you mean by that? Starting to get prophetic up in here. I love Indian VPNs. Yeah, that's true. J-Boy Bullish knows I love Indian VPNs. The reason I love Indian VPNs is because when I watch advertisements, they are literally the most creative and funny advertisements I've ever seen. All right. Those Indian advertisements are absolutely hilarious, man. They crack me up. You know, in America, the advertisements are like the most ridiculous things in the world, but the Indian ones are hilarious. After I see them, I search for them and try and find them again. All right, now we're dumping. Let's see if we get a move, right? Let's see. I don't know. All right. That's what I was wondering if you were talking about something like that. Are you talking about in the Daniel 2 where it says they're going to mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they will not cleave one to another, just like iron does not cleave with miry clay? Is that what you're talking about, man? I'm very curious. I'm interested. I'm very interested. All right. I'm interested. I want to know what you're thinking, my man. You could say whatever you want in the chat, you know? Chat doesn't get censored. I just can't say what I want. All right. Shout out to Adrenaline Tube. He says 30K incoming, baby. All right, now we're starting to get a little dump after I told everyone the stream's over and everyone's out of here. But you know what? Whatever. Talking about the Nephilim. Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about some Nephilim. Shout out to Chris Sandals. He says steroids make you more bloated. All right, yeah, Daniel 2. Talking about Daniel 2. Ah, I see, man. You spiked my eschatological ears, my friend. With that comment, all right? What state do I live in? I live in the state of pure bliss, Baker's Food. Every day I'm just so happy and grateful to be alive. All right, so Haroon will be on cloud 9 if we dump it down to 30K. Let's see what happens here. What leverage am I using? Right now, this trade is 50x leverage. All right, I've talked a lot about leverage lately. Did I read the Book of Enoch? Of course, I've read the Book of Enoch. Who hasn't read the Book of Enoch? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've never read the Book of Enoch. It would be shocking to me. Everyone in my circles has read the Book of Enoch. Aren't my circles pretty normal, standard? Yeah, of course I've read the Book of Enoch. The first Enoch. First Enoch. Yeah, Daniel 2:44. Would I make a religion channel? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Nah, probably not. Probably not. Alex loves the Book of Enoch. Why did I stop trading Forex? Well, when I started trading Forex, all right. Wow, a lot of people never read the Book of Enoch. That's crazy, man. All right. We got 1,300 people in the chat, 900 likes. Let's see if we can't get the likes up to the watchers. You know, the watchers. You guys know what I'm talking about. You Book of Enoch readers. Actually, there's watchers in Daniel chapter 4 too. When Nebuchadnezzar had his dream, he saw a watcher. What about the Book of Jasher? I've read the Book of Jasher. Yeah, I've read the Book of Jasher. I've read it. Of course I've read it. What is the Book of Enoch? The Book of Enoch is a, it's a book. It's a pseudepigraphical work, all right? Maybe parts of it are not pseudepigraphical. Like, maybe Enoch actually did write some of those things. I don't know. It's a book, okay? It's a book that talks about things that happened before Noah's flood. It's a book that talks about things that happened before Noah's flood. I already did wrap Time and Stroopy. What happens in Enoch? The Book of Enoch is false, says the token trekker crypto. Well, in the Book of Enoch, what do I think about the Anunnaki? In the Book of Enoch, a lot of things happen. Enoch has a lot of visions, okay? Lots of different things. But I guess the thing that people most think of when they think of the Book of Enoch is it talks about the heavenly beings that came down and mingled themselves with the humans and created a hybrid race. And not only did they do that with the humans, but they did that with the plants and the animals too. So like all these types of ancient mythologies, like animal-human hybrids and stuff like that, it comes from those times, right? Do I mind going over my take profit zones for the short? Yeah. Look, for me, for this short right here, I'm just going for this because it's a good, nice take profit in the middle of the old range. For the swing short trade, you know, look, I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily expecting to hit these, but I've got TP set all the way down to $10,000, all right? Just in case we get some kind of a black swan event. All right, just in case we get some kind of a black swan event. Yeah, this is true. So the Book of Enoch was well known, shared, and covered by the Jews for generations. It's not part of the canon of Scripture. Unless you are Ethiopian Orthodox Christian, in which case it is part of your Scripture. And yeah, I mean, look, it's quoted in the Bible, the Protestant, modern, Western Bible. In the book of Jude, Jude quotes from the Book of Enoch, and Jude says Enoch said it, so, you know, it's interesting stuff. Crypto War says it disagrees with what's said in the Torah. I would disagree with that. It doesn't disagree with what's said in the Torah, but look, here's the reason why the Book of Enoch is not considered part of the Old Testament canon, as it's called, right? We don't have it in Hebrew, and we have only fragments of it in Aramaic, and so it was a debated book, and so they eventually said, you know what, we're going to keep it out. But it does not disagree with anything in the Torah. It just adds more detail to what's in the Torah, right? The Torah, the only information we have about those days is Genesis 6. And then we have the Targumim, right? We have the Targums, which give us a little detail. A little more detail there. But we don't have a lot of manuscripts for Enoch in the original language, right? Should I read the Quran? I have read the Quran, actually. I've read it numerous times, Muhammad. I have read the Quran. The Bible was written by the elites. Is that why it was illegal for many years to read the Bible or own the Bible? Is that why the elites banned the Bible for centuries? Is that why people literally risked their lives translating the Bible into other languages? Because the government made it illegal to read the Bible? That makes no sense, my friend. Enoch is Enoch. The Rephaim. Yeah, Lee Tura Nativa. Look, I don't know, man. Like I take all these things and I just keep them on the back burner, my friend. You know what I'm saying? I keep them on the back burner. Token Trekker says there's many places where Enoch disagrees with the Bible. Well, I would like to know, honestly. I would like to know, because I have gone through it quite a bit. But, look, there's a lot of well, first of all, we have to acknowledge the fact that the Book of Enoch was considered authoritative, at least historically authoritative, by Jewish people in the 1st century AD, the Second Temple period, and believers in Jesus, the early believers in Jesus, also considered that book to be an important book and a book that was true. Just because they didn't necessarily consider it scripture doesn't mean it wasn't a book that was valuable or true. Right? The development of the modern day canon of the Bible was a complex process. But just because a book's not in the Bible doesn't mean the book's not valuable, and it doesn't mean the book's not true. You know what I'm saying? Why are we talking about religion? Well, I'm a follower of Jesus. These are topics that I enjoy. Bitcoin's doing nothing, and people in the chat are asking questions and talking about it. So here we are talking about it, my friend. Straightway Life says it endorses the worship of angels. Where, man? Are you talking about 1st Enoch, or are you talking about 2nd and 3rd Enoch? 2nd and 3rd Enoch, definitely Gnostic texts that I would not endorse. But where does 1st Enoch endorse the worship of angels? And also, we have to look at what word is even used there for worship. Because if you just read, if you just read like your King James Bible or whatever, people worship all the time. They worship kings, they worship people, but it really just means they're bowing down. So, I'm curious. I'm not trying to challenge you. I'm just being curious, right? All right, let's see if Bitcoin gets a move. Man, we've been waiting for Bitcoin to get a move for so long. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, man. Come on, man. What did I think about the Quran when I read it? Well, I think that the Quran says that Jesus didn't die on the cross. So I think it's not true. Because Jesus did die on the cross. So the Quran literally attacks the most important doctrine, which is the atonement, the only hope that humanity has. The Quran says, actually, just kidding, that didn't happen, but Allah deceived the people to make them think it happened, but it didn't really happen. But look, we have eyewitness accounts that it happened in the Bible. The Bible says Jesus died on the cross. We have a plethora of non-biblical texts, Roman historians, Jewish historians, that document the fact that, yes, Jesus died on the cross. And so, yeah, I don't trust it, right? That's what I thought when I read the Quran. Steam Bun J stopped believing in Christianity when he realized Christmas was a pagan festival. Well, that's silly. You know? Like, I'm walking on the treadmill right now, okay? Which is a historical fact, right? I'm walking on the treadmill. What if, 700 years later, somebody takes a pagan holiday and commemorates the day that Jayson Casper walked on the treadmill? Does that mean Jayson Casper never walked on the treadmill? Right? Just because Christmas has a lot of paganism incorporated into it doesn't mean Jesus wasn't born. That's silly. Don't be silly. I don't have Facebook Straightway Life. Unfortunately, I don't, but you can hit me up on email. You can hit me up on email. Why am I not Muslim but Christian? All right, I'll tell you why. Because we have the Torah and we have the gospel. All right? And then 700 years later, you have a guy who comes along and says something that contradicts all of that stuff. That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, here's where it gets even more crazy. Okay? Here's where it gets even more crazy. In the Quran itself, it says, let the people of the gospel judge what Muhammad is saying, judge what the Quran is saying, all right, by what Allah has revealed. Right? So basically, in the Quran, it says you should judge what the Quran says based on what's in the Bible. Let the people of the gospel judge what the Quran says by what Allah has revealed in the gospel. It says Jesus, the son of Mary, was confirming the Torah that was revealed before him, and Allah gave the gospel containing guidance and light, confirming what was in the Torah. So according to the Quran, Allah, and remember, the Quran is the direct word of Allah. According to Allah himself, the Torah and the gospel is the true word of God, and according to Allah himself, me, as a Christian, as a believer in Jesus, and a believer in the Torah, I should judge the Quran based on what is in the Torah and the gospel. Now, in the Torah and the gospel, it says Jesus died on the cross. So I'm just doing what the Quran says when I'm judging the words of the Quran based on the New Testament, right? The Quran says right here, this is the Quran. The Quran says, judge the words of the Quran based on the gospel which Allah has also given to you. So when I go back to the gospel and I judge the words of the Quran is false according to what the Quran says. So based on the Quran is false. If I'm supposed to believe the Quran based on what the gospel says, and they contradict, then according to the Quran, I should reject the Quran. According to Allah, I should reject the Quran because the gospel says Jesus died on the cross. Okay, so that's why I'm not a Muslim. It's really as simple as that. And the only explanation you could have for this is that the Bible has been corrupted. That's the only explanation you could have. That's the only argument a Muslim can have. Now, if you're an atheist, you don't care about this crap, right? But if you're a Muslim, the only argument you have is that the Bible's been corrupted over the years. Well, when has the Bible been corrupted? Do you know how much manuscript evidence we have of the Bible? Do you know right now I could pull up on my computer manuscripts of the Bible that predate Muhammad's lifetime by almost 1,000 years? I could pull up manuscripts of the Bible that predate Muhammad's lifetime over 1,000 years. In other words, I can look at a timestamp of what the Bible said 1,000 years before Muhammad even lived, which is undeniable proof that the Bible has not been corrupted. Because if I can read a Bible that goes back 700 years before Muhammad was born, and yet sometime in between Muhammad's day and our day, the Bible got corrupted, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. You guys know what I'm saying, right? Right? So, like, if I can read a physical Bible that we found in a cave that dates back to 300 BC, which is about 900 years before Muhammad. And then Muhammad received his revelation right here. And then here we are in our day, okay? Now, when Muhammad wrote, he said, judge my words based on this, right? He said, judge my words based on this. Well, guess what? Based on this, Muhammad's words are wrong. Now, here we are in our present day, and you say, oh, well, of course, the Bible's been corrupted over the years. Well, I can still look back at this before Muhammad and see that, no, the Bible has not been corrupted. So that's why I'm not a Muslim. It's really that simple. It's that simple for me. You know, I've read the Quran. I've read multiple hadith as well. Obviously, I don't know Arabic. So I'll give you that. I don't know Arabic. But look, Jesus says some very interesting things about himself. You know, Jesus says, I am God. Right? The Bible says Jesus is God, the creator God. And the only hope we have as humans is through what Jesus did when he died on the cross and rose again. And so Islam takes that away. You know? Shout out to Crypto Ecclesi. God bless you, my man. Shout out to Free Will. Nah, I'm not talking about Kanye West, my friend. I'm not talking about Kanye West. All right, this guy says his name is not Jesus. All right. Atmeta Beret Ivrit. Do you speak Hebrew? All right. אני מדבר קצת עברית. I speak a little Hebrew. אני יודע ששמו Yeshua. I know his name is Yeshua, but we're speaking English. All right, if we were speaking Espanol, his name is Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Do I know about the Maro Big Lino translations? I do not. I've never heard of it. I've never heard about it. Never heard about it. Let's see if we hit our take profits. See, Noah says it's not a trolley debate based on what he spoke is totally nonsense. Oh, okay. Who did Jesus pray to before he got crucified? Look, I cannot explain the complexity of the creator God. And if I could, that would diminish from his greatness. All right, if we can figure God out, that would diminish from his greatness. All I know is that if you read the scripture, God is complex in his being, right? There's a plurality there. It's abundantly clear throughout all of scripture. Shout out to my man Radar Apologetics in the chat, man. We need you up in here. We need you up in here, bro. How does saying Jesus is God make me an idolater? How does saying Jesus is God make me an idolater? How did it go from Bitcoin dumping to religion? Well, because Bitcoin's boring. Who are the other Elohim? Well, in my view, the other Elohim are created beings. They're created beings. But I think that there's no scripture that says Jesus is God. Well, I mean, there's John 1 that says, in the beginning, the Word already existed, and the Word was with God, and it says the Word was God. And it says all things were created through the Word. It says He was God. And so, I'm sure, monotheists would agree that there's one God who created everything. So if Jesus is with God and He is God and He created all things, then He's also God. Also, Revelation 2:18, Jesus says, I am He, I am the first, I am the last. I was dead, but now I am alive forevermore. So the first and the last, I mean, that is a title that God uses of Himself numerous times throughout the book of Isaiah. And now Jesus is here saying, I am that God. And I was dead, but now I'm alive. It's interesting, So look, I mean, if Yeshua is not God, if Jesus is not God, He also can't be the Messiah, because according to the Old Testament, the Messiah is God. Jophiel, I mean, if you look at the Greek there, Jophiel, in Colossians 1:15, He's the origin of all creation, right? That word firstborn, it means He's the origin of all creation. And it says all things were made through Him and for Him. So if all things were made through Him, then that means He's the one making all things. And we know who made all things. God made all things. If the word, okay, interesting. I don't know, Straightway Life. I would have to disagree with you on that one, my friend. I would have to disagree with you on that one. But look, here's the thing. Like, I respect everybody's view, right? I got my own views. You can have your views. For me, Jesus is the creator God. That's just the clear reading of the scripture. If you have a different view, that's fine with me. All right, guys, keep it chill in the chat, right? Don't hate on each other. Don't hate on each other, all right? Are we going for the 618 again of this local range? I don't know. Has Bitcoin done anything this entire stream? Man, it's late, guys. It's late. Man, this biblical... Atheism is the meta. LOL. We need to talk about politics and BitBoy on this stream. I don't like to talk about politics, I don't like to talk about politics. I'm not a very political guy. The followers of God have killed the most people in the world. I don't know if that's true. Is there any way we can prove that? I say humans kill humans, and that's just the way it is, man. Humans kill humans. I mean, remove religion from the picture, and you have basically, You know, look at atheist communism. That's killed so many people. I mean, humans are just messed up no matter what you do. No matter what they say they believe, humans are messed up, you know? All right, shout out to Inked Fish. I'm assuming you're a Mason. Are you a Freemason? Gayatu, the great architect of the universe. Talk about Biden and Trump boxing match. No, that would be fun. That would be fun. What about Ezekiel traveling in a spaceship? Those are some interesting passages. You know, those are some interesting passages. All right, some people like the Bible talk, some people don't. We got over 1,000 people in the house. Am I denying that Jesus is not the Son of God, but is God himself? Look, he is the Son of God. He is also God himself. Yeah, because he is the Son of God, he is also God. Look, everyone can have their own view. You know, that's the thing, like, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just telling you what I think, right? Someone asked me why I'm not a Muslim. I told you why. Shout out to my man Alex. He says Matthew 17:21, taken out, fasting heals everything. Yeah, that section is only found in the Byzantine manuscript family. It's not found in the eclectic text. It's a 111,000 subscriber special right now. We're getting a little bit religious and biblical, as Bitcoin maybe is going to hit our take profit. All right, James Driggers is a Freemason. All right. All right, well, let's see if Bitcoin gets a move here, guys. Chat's getting a little crazy, all right? Everyone's got their opinions all riled and fired. That's fine. All right. Look, I respect everybody. I love everybody. So, hope you guys don't take me the wrong way here. I'm just telling you my own personal beliefs. And maybe we're going to hit a TP on this short, all right? Let's see. Shout out to Bitcoin Slut. Hex. All right, we'll take a look at Hex while Bitcoin maybe hits our TP. All right. Why are we looking at Hex? We looked at it the other day. Hang on, I gotta pull up a chart. All right, Hex. Shout out to Bitcoin Slut. Shout out to my man, Brett, 2 cents. The world is messed up because people are still following rules that are thousands of years old. I know, God forbid people don't lie or cheat or murder or commit adultery. Can you imagine how much better the world would be if we were free to murder and commit adultery? We should just get rid of those thousands of years old laws. They have no benefit to us. So look, Hex, the last time I spoke to somebody, all right, they told me that Hex is like a rug pull, Richard Hart rug pull. I don't know. I don't know anything about Hex. I just know Richard Hart made a big stink last market cycle and everyone was bullish, all right? If this thing has a future, and I don't know if it does, all right? I don't know, because I don't know anything about Hex. I'm not the guy to ask about HEX. If this thing has a future, if it's going to hit its previous high, it has a 3,000% potential gains. So do your fundamental research based on this chart alone. Okay, based on this chart alone, we have ourselves a bullish divergence on the weekly, a trigger wave, and a money flow cross with massive upward potential and very minimal downward potential. So based on this chart, this is a good buy if HEX is going to have a future. If HEX is not going to have a future, this is not a good buy, right? That's what I think about it. I don't know the intricacies about what exactly HEX even is. I don't know about the token burns and the rug pulls and the Richard Harts. All right, so Divine Hood, he told me HEX is not a good buy. I'm only going by what the chart says. I don't know what the fundamentals are. But based on this chart alone, if this was any altcoin that I personally was bullish on the fundamentals, I would say it would be dumb not to buy this based on the chart. All right. Man, you guys are still talking about religion. All right, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. All right, shout out to Aaron G. He's a Muslim. Shout out to FitGenius618. How much leverage do I use? You know, look, it depends on the context, all right? Like I said, next week, I'm going to release a video. Here, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys something, all right? Let me show you guys something. I'm going to give you guys a peek behind the scenes here. All right, this is a personal YouTube channel, a YouTube stream. This is personal, all right? Gonna give you guys a peek into my channel, the back end here, all right? I've got content lined up for the next 2 weeks in here. Not profits, videos going out every day, because I don't know if I'll be around to make videos or stream, all right? I don't know. I've got some stuff going on. So, there is going to be a video coming out right here, all right, with a nice clickbait thumbnail. I lost over 100K. Do not make these 3 trading mistakes. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's not the video. Hang on. Where's the video? Hang on. That's not the right video. Everyone is wrong, okay? Everyone is wrong. That's a nice clickbait title as well. Man, I'm ruining the dang clickbait by showing this to you guys, so make sure to like the stream, all right? The harsh truth about leverage trading. All right? It's going to come out February 7th at 9 a.m. New York time, okay? This will tell you everything you need to know about leverage. Everything you need to know about leverage. And here's a bonus. What I'm about to show you in this video is actually just a clip from a live stream I did a few days ago. So go back to the Jayson Casper YouTube channel. All right. Go back to the Jayson Casper YouTube channel. Let's see, your channel. And go to live. And I think, let's see, which stream was it? I think it was this one. Yep, this one right here is 50K next, the live short squeeze to 50K. Go check out this video where I actually demonstrate leverage. Yep, right around the 2 hour. Yeah, okay, so right around 2 hours into the video, I go over leverage. Any questions you have about leverage will be answered in this. All right. Go back to live short squeeze to 50K. I literally do like a valuable educational segment in here about leverage, about how to use it, why you should use it, when to use it, when not to use it, how to use it, how not to use it, all right? All right, Bitcoin getting a little bit more of a dumperoni. Bitcoin getting a little bit more of a dumperoni. Let's see if we can hit that take profit. Oh, you want to see the ad revenue? Sandball? Man, I'm raking it in over here on YouTube. Man, I'm really raking it in. I'll show you guys the ad revenue. Actually, how do I even see the ad revenue? I actually don't know how to see the ad revenue. Hang on. I have no idea how to see the ad revenue. Oh, here we go. Analytics. Okay, yeah, here we go. I'll show you guys the ad revenue. Man, shout out to all you guys who subscribed, who've been helping this channel grow. You guys are amazing. We got, in the last month, we're up 4,000 subscribers almost. All right, we've been popping off. More views. All right, estimated revenue is up this month, $2,600. That's pretty good. It's more than usual. Why is it more than usual? Because I published more videos, it says. Well, that's good to know. Let's see here. Yeah, obviously ad revenue is up a lot in January. Look at this, wow. Up a lot. This is the ad revenue. March 2023, that was my best month. February, March. February, March are usually pretty good. August was bad, $800, but you know, I was away. I didn't post a lot of videos. So, looks like 23K, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, here we are back to the Quran. All right, Bitcoin dumping. How many carbs do I eat in a day? A lot, man. I eat like 600 carbs a day, you know? And I love carbs. All right. Man, we got 1,200 people in here. All right, shout out to Divine Hood. He says it's breaking the ascending channel. You'll post in the Discord. Okay, let me check it out. Let me check it out in the Discord. Okay, so Divine Hood has posted. Divine Hood, by the way, the channel master. He is the master of channels. We've been respecting this channel, and now we're breaking down from it. So that is not a nice sign of strength. Shout out to Squeaky with the White Phoenix-esque trade setup here. And white chart. Man, I can't believe we've been streaming for so long. I had no intentions of streaming this long, guys. I had no intentions of it. Are we going to hit the TP, or are we going to just liquidity grab this low, you know? We're going to TP or just do a liquidity grab of this low. Let's see. This is a place where we might actually find support. Let's take a look at Market Cipher. You know, we've been so biblical in here, we haven't even looked at Market Cipher. That's how you know things are serious. All right, let's take a quick look at Market Cipher here. We're going to go to the 12-minute time frame. Well, you know, it looks like we might form a bottom quite soon. Just below us, guys, we have a naked daily point of control and a daily level. It would make the most sense to me that we come down a little bit lower. Hit that 42.2 level. You know, it makes sense to me we come a little bit lower. Let's check out the 6-minute. 6-minute looks like she wants to come a little bit lower, but we're also starting to form some pig niplet divergences here. Right? We are starting to form some pig niplets, which means a bottom is near. All right. Let's check it out. Pig nipples. Here we go. Yeah, look at this. We are definitely forming some pig niplets on the 6-minute. But money flow's coming down, so I think we can come down a bit lower here, at least to that daily. And then 41,355, we really need to watch for a liquidity grab. Man, let's check out my long trade on ZOOMEX. Man, I'm feeling like I need to take some profits out of this one, guys. What do you think about this? I feel like I need to take some profits out of this. All right. I don't know. Did I close my long? No, I didn't close any of my longs. I'm still in the longs, guys. All right, I'm still in all the longs here. So, you know, let's kind of wait and see how this goes. This long, I'm definitely not closing. I am looking just to add only. This long, I might close, guys. Like, this one, I might close. We'll have to kind of see what happens as we come to some of these areas here. Oh, I thought we hit a TP, but nah. All right. I think this is a record for the most dislikes a stream has ever gotten. 14 dislikes. That's not so bad, considering we got over 1,000 people in here. If you think you should, just take profits. I know, Cleve Monster. Why do I want to close the long? Because because the reason why I want to close the long is because I am long from lower, first of all, and second of all, this trade entry is not the best. Right? This entry is not really the best. If we pull the fib from low to high, my entry is not even at the golden pocket. And so it's like it's likely to get stopped out at the entry. So why would I want to leave 0.1 Bitcoin on the table? Man, a lot of people hitting the dislike now. Now we definitely got a record. 20 dislikes. Sheesh. Guys, smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. Always take profits. Well, I've taken a lot of profits as well on this trade, right? So I can't be mad. I've already taken... Man, I've taken a lot of profits on this trade, guys. Before... About a tenth... About over a tenth of a Bitcoin I've already taken out of this trade here, so... Wait, hang on. Hang on. It's hard to calculate this. Hang on. This is last trade I took. I took this loss right here before I got into this. I hopped in this long. Man, ZOOMEX is hard to... I got to use the calculator here, guys, because I'm too dumb. Let's see. How much have I actually made on this long right now? I've taken a lot of profit out of this long because I wasn't very confident in it. I started with a massive position size. It's massive because it was such a good entry. It was like $600,000 originally, a little bit under 600K. So now I've got 150K left in it. So hang on. Where was that loss? All right, so 0.2, 0.02, 8 plus 0.01 plus 0.05 plus 0.023. Yeah, about 0.125 Bitcoin here. All right, so that's a little bit over 4K. That's close to, I think, around 5K. Maybe, no, not, yeah, maybe, yeah, like almost 5K just on this trade already. So I'm guaranteed to make 5K on the trade. I'm guaranteed to make more money on this trade than I currently have open on it right now. So that's why I'm not necessarily closing. It's not like I'm just letting this thing ride. This is even the first long. I've taken a lot of longs as well. Right, I longed this, I longed this, and I longed this. Those are my three major longs in January trading Bitcoin inverse perpetual. It's the only three trades I've taken, all at the low of the range. So shout out to Paolo S. from Ireland. All right. I'm jinxing myself talking about dislikes. Well, people hear it and now they're disliking. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Alrighty. Well, guys, look, I really am going to head out now. So God bless you all in Jesus' name. Even if you're not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed. May the Lord bless you. May he protect you. May he shine light upon you. May he have grace upon you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you wholeness in Jesus' name. And I'll see everybody in the next stream. Peace.